Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Writers Chat. We're so glad you're with us. My name is Johnny Alexander. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Melissa Stroh, Brandy Bro, and Norma Poor. We're so grateful to have you with us, whether you're here right now in our community or you are watching the replay. We are going to be talking about resources for writers. So Melissa is going to be doing that for us. Melissa is an award-winning writer of historical fiction. She writes amazing stories of medieval times and very kind of gritty and fun stuff. Very sagas. So if you like that, you really want to check out Melissa's work. She's an amazing, talented writer. And she's also an encourager and just somebody that we are just so happy to have with us all the time. Just such a sweet person. So Melissa, thank you for sharing resources for writers with us today. I'm turning it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Johnny. Always glad to be here. Writers Chat's one of my favorite places to be. And I'm probably going to be a little off kilter today, just warning everybody. And I do a lot of things off the cuff because I'm very much a pantser. So if you see me staring off to the side, it's just me trying to reference my notes and see where I left off and where I got lost. But
We love
for
it.
those who know me or those who don't know me, I guess I should specify for the recording, I am a bit of a research junkie. People know me for that. And so as a historical fiction author, I like to collect research. And one of the things that I'm sharing with you today is a collection of resources that I have been building up over the years. Actually, this is just a fraction of some of the resources that I've built up over the years. I made a special curated list for all of you today for writers out of all of those sources. And I'm gonna have to let all of you people watching the replay know if you want to get access to the list, you are going to have to become a member of Writers Chat in order to get it, because only members of Writers Chat get the handout that I am giving out today. It is a digital Word document, 13 pages of clickable resources that you can have
Wow.
categorized in a nice, handy way that you can go to in your Microsoft ribbon in the Find Search option. Click on that, and you will see a menu that pops up that'll take you to every section of that. It's customizable, so that I'm hoping that you can take this list and add to it all of the resources that you typically use. And then not only will you have a quick reference for your own research as writers, but you'll have a nice backup, which is always handy.
Mhm.
I use it for like my bookmarks online. So any bookmark that I save that I constantly use, I have in my backup resource document. And so if I were to lose that, I have a reference. I can click it, put it back in my browser. There it is. So
Yeah.
it's a great handy thing to have for any writer. If you don't already have one of your own, now you will.
That's a great idea.
So
So is that in the Facebook group? So
yes,
yeah, so you have to
yes,
join the Writers Chat Facebook group. Yeah.
Which is
Wonderful.
Writers Chat members.
yes.
Yes,
Thank you for
thank you.
clarifying
Yeah.
that. Yes, you'll be able to find it and download it from there. And we'll just kind of hit some highlights today because, like I say, 13 pages of resources. It's so much. There's no way we can cover it all in this show, but we're going to try to hit as many highlights as we can while we're online. Let's see here. If I make sure I didn't miss anything before we just jump right in. So I will attempt to share my screen and show off some of these. The categories, I'm not going to even list all of the categories and subcategories that are on this list, but just to hit some highlights, we're going to cover things like craft and connection or social medias, organizations, tools, marketing, research, conferences, contests, help, and just different research subcategories. So with that, see if I can get this up. All righty. Everyone tell
Yeah.
me if you can see the very first which should be capitalize my title.
Mm-hmm.
It's all clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in your resource list, I actually have two different sources for capitalizing titles. And I don't know about the comparison, whether one is actually better than the other. I've found them both to be great. So you might want to play around with them and see if you like one more than the other. But the great thing about this is if you're writing a blog post, an article, whatever, try and come up with a title for your book and you're not sure exactly how to capitalize it, you can put it in here and use whatever standard it is, APA, Chicago, manual style, whatever, type it in and it will automatically adjust it according to the standards. So this is something I really love about it. I mean, I'm not the greatest at coming up with titles off the top of my head, but 30 resources for writers you can find online, boom,
I like how
automatically
it changes it automatically as you're
as you're
typing.
going. Yeah, you don't even have to try. You just type it in and there it is. And you change it and see if it alters for any of the ones that you're looking for. It's there automatically. Copy and paste it into whatever you're using it for. So that's a real handy resource that I really like and appreciate. Okay, so here comes the next challenge because I just realized that the share ribbon is covering up all of my tabs. So, aha, there we go. We got it to move. All right, next one. Can you see? It's newsletterguide.org. Did it show up on your screens?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So this one is handy for all writers. You've probably had it hammered into you a million times how important it is for writers and authors to have a newsletter, but a lot of people just don't know where to start. Here it is. Here's your ultimate guide. You can go in here. It's going to give you an introduction about why newsletters matter, how to get started, what are the different type of newsletters you can use, how to grow your list, what to put in your newsletter. It's just a great little guide. It's a handy reference. And you can use this to bounce off of, get ideas. I mean, it's fun. But it's, just a place to get you started if you aren't sure. Or maybe just something to reference if you need assurance that you're on the right track. And I found this through Jane Friedman's website, and I thought, and she's got a lot of great ones. If you guys don't have any connection or don't know about Jane Friedman and her Electric Speed newsletter, I highly recommend that you go to her site and sign up for it because this is where she's a primary source that I've gone to for a lot of my resources. Okay. Again, I am having trouble with that little ribbon and trying to get it to go away. Anybody know the trick for getting the screen share ribbon to disappear?
I do
So it'll
not.
let me see my tabs. I did it before, but I'm not sure what I did. Oh,
You can move the screen share ribbon.
can I? Okay.
Yep.
Oops. It keeps wanting to select the options rather than let me grab it. There we go. Okay.
It always puts itself in the most inopportune place, right?
Yeah, and it keeps highlighting all of the clickable options. So, I'll click mute and then I'll be talking away and you won't be able to hear me. Okay. The next fun one is Word Hippo. How many of you have heard of Word Hippo?
I think so. I've never used it though.
I
I
love Word
am
Hippo.
I am new to it. Brandy introduced me to Word Hippo last week, and it is awesome. I mean, this thing is so fun. I haven't got to play with it as much, but so Brandy, you might need to kind of fill in on all the options that you can have. I know you can find synonyms and antonyms for words. Obviously, you've got this little header image up here that tells you all the things that you can do, but you can put phrases in too, right, Brandy?
You can. You can put phrases. You can find examples of how it's used, like the word is used. What absolutely love about it is that if I put in a word and I'm looking for a synonym or an antonym, it will give me like a definition and then a whole bunch of words that are synonyms. Synonyms. I said that right the second time. And it will also give you like near synonyms, and it's just this huge list. And then you can click on a synonym within there and you can go to that one. It's just a really great way to find the really specific word you're looking for when you just the general one you're thinking of isn't quite right.
Yeah, here I just typed one in, fathom. It was part of my research this week, and so I stuck it in there. Here you go. You've got all sorts of options you can click on, and then you can get even more information on the synonyms that you click, or the expressions, make heads or tails. I mean, you
Oh,
Yeah, I
can
nice.
mean phrases
you can
as
get,
well. So it's not just one word. So, if like verb to make head or tail of, then you see get the drift of. So it'll
mhm.
give you phrases too. Sometimes it can get used to just thinking, like if you have troubles, to use a cliche, thinking outside the box, you have troubles being original, then you can click on this and it can kind of get you thinking in a different direction. Like, oh yeah, that's what I was really trying to go for, but I couldn't come up with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun. So you might get
Oh,
lost down the
Sophia
rabbit
says it
trail on
replaced
this one.
thesaurus.com.
It
Oh,
did,
oh,
huh?
sorry. No. For her.
Okay.
For her.
Oh,
It
okay.
replaced it
Okay.
for her. So she found it so useful that it replaced the thesaurus.com.
So yeah, this might be a bit of a rabbit hole for everybody, but I think you're really gonna like this one and playing around with it. I highly recommend Word Hippo. And just for reference, thesources.com is also in your list of
Yeah,
uh,
Leslie mentions that thesaurus.com does a similar thing, but it does not do phrases.
ah,
Yeah, but thesaurus.com, I was using, it is what I use, but
Mhm.
I didn't know about this. I am immediately changing because they did change their format, like Sophia said, and it is so, these ads pop up. It is the most
Mm.
annoying thing now, where it used to
Oh
be
boy.
okay to use, and now it is just not at all. It's not fun,
Yep.
not
Not fun at
easy.
all.
So, yep, you've got to convert right now.
success. Yes, awesome. Okay, so here we're taking a little venture off on organization, and this is also a tool as well. A lot of authors are especially interested in doing their own book formatting or having a program that does everything all in one. And one that has come highly recommended to me that I hope to invest in the future is Atticus. Now, some people who use Macs prefer Vellum, and we'll look at Vellum too in this one, but I wanted to give you a little side-by-side comparison. If you have a Mac, Vellum is a handy one, and I've heard a lot of people highly recommend it. But if you don't have a Mac, then you're kind of up the creek and you can't. And so Atticus is the alternative, and it's usable for Windows, Mac, Linux, Chromebook. You can do just about everything in it, start to finish. If you want to start your document in Atticus and then format it as ebook later, you can. And there's so many cool features to this program. I mean, also a little bit more affordable than Vellum, but it has a lot of side-by-side comparisons that they include if you want to see what this does compared to Vellum and other options. Say, like, I know some people use Scrivener as well. This is also one that will be on your resource list if you want to check that out. It's just a really cool program. You can put graphics, everything in, and make your book look very professional. So, uh, definitely recommend checking Atticus out.
I've heard a lot of good about Atticus and Vellum.
And they recently increased the amount of fonts that you can use in formatting your book now, too. They have a huge amount of fonts that are free to use.
That's what I noticed. It was like 1,500 or something. So that's true. That's
Wow,
true.
that's extensive.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's awesome.
I use Vellum because it's what I have and I've already bought it. And for me, it has enough options that it works, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
not going to change, but I know people really like Atticus. I think you can't go wrong with it.
And for those who are interested in Vellum, here we are. This is Vellum's page, and you can see some of the things that they can do format. It's a great program. I've heard nothing but good things about Vellum for those who use it. I have, of course, no experience because I'm a Windows person. So But you can see here just on their front page alone some of the options that you have in creating ebooks through Vellum. And Johnny, can you from start to finish, if you want to do from drafts and everything, does Vellum allow you to do that also?
I think you can. I'm not sure about that because I don't. I do Microsoft Word because I
Yeah.
that's the way I need to see it on the page. I can't use, I mean, I've tried going to Scrivener and different things. I can't. My eyes are so used to Microsoft Word, it just has to stay there. But I've really, had to play around with it and figure out different things for my one book I did, the last indie book I did. It had like parts and it had chapters, and so I really had to learn how to manipulate things and figure it out. But now that I know, it's fun, and
Yeah.
there are options. And I think, I was just looking really quick as you were scrolling through the Atticus Vellum thing on the Atticus site, the different things. And I think they are like adding some more features. I mean, they upgrade all the time, so they're trying to keep it as valuable too. So,
Oh,
you
yes.
yeah, yeah, I like it. I don't, I imagine people can draft. I don't know. It might be a little bit unwieldy, but you can go in and make changes. Like if someone says, "Hey, I found a typo in your manuscript," you can easily go in, make that change, and then reshoot it back up to Kindle, publishing.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about both of these
Mhm.
programs, both Atticus and Vellum. You can take a Word document and upload it in it and go from there. So if you prefer to create in your another Word processor, that's fine. And they should be able to accept just about any kind, but I know that they both accept Word documents without any problems whatsoever. So our next fun feature is a program called Wave. It's an app that you can get, and this is basically your all-in-one business app to help you manage your money, accounting, and invoicing. This is something that I think authors will love. If you've not heard of this before, they have a free option that you can try out. It's an actual op option. I mean, it's not like a trial period. You can go to the starter plan and be able to do all of these things. And if you like it and it works for you, you can upgrade to their pro plan.
Wave is
I
a
rem
cloud program. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. I
Yeah.
believe so. I have not started to use it yet, but I would like to kind of play around with it and see because everyone that I've talked to that uses it really likes Wave and all the things that it does, where it makes it so much easier, especially on the tax end of things. So
Good
if you're looking
alternative to
for
QuickBooks.
something, yeah, to streamline. In fact, I've heard a lot of people who have gone to Wave complaining about QuickBooks and how much this
Mm-hmm.
is so much easier to do. So, and even like if you're having to invoice people, it'll send prompts to people for you. So there's so many options.
Oh,
Um, and I think that people, if you're to this stage in your writing and you're looking for something out there, this is something worth trying. So I don't know if I'm scrolling too fast for everyone, but just to kind of give you an overview, you could, of course, check it out for yourself and see what all the options are for it. But it's a neat program that I think will be very helpful if you're looking for some option in your business side of your writing. Okay, here's another fun one that Brandy put me on to. Many of you might be familiar with Readsy. Readsy has its own Readsy Studio now. Readsy itself is an online resource for training you in all aspects of writing, from, writing your novels and articles and things, all the way up to publishing. And it caters mostly to indie published authors, but even traditional published authors can learn a lot from Readsy. Readsy is also, I believe, a resource you can go to for finding submissions of kinds, and I think they have contests and things like that. But this studio is pretty cool. I have yet to explore this also. I think this is another one that Brandy introduced me to, and if you know a little bit more about it, please do chime in. Basically, you can draft and brainstorm on this for free. This is an app that you can use for free. You do not have to pay for this. And here, just scrolling down, you can kind of see some of the things that you can do.
You can
It,
also um, flesh out characters within this program. So it's not just straight writing your story. You can do a little bit of planning within it as well to, get to know your characters and stuff. I haven't fiddled with it. I came across it through a writing summit last year, and it was new to me, but I really liked the idea that it was a pretty comprehensive program for writing. They designed it to try and get you largely through writing into the editing and then out the door. Um, but, this is a really great option for people that don't mind working online and like a free option, and it has a lot of different features. There's a lot of different resources out there, so it's really just what fits you, and this might be something that fits you well, whereas maybe Word is just a little bit too word processy and doesn't have enough of the planning features for it to work well for you.
yeah. This was another thing that I really liked about it too, going down, that you can basically use it as your little accountability partner to keep you going on your project. You can set word goals and check up on yourself to see how you're doing to meet your target word goals
Always nice.
and prompts that it'll give you. The one downside, of course, to it being a free online version is that you are limited to doing work on it online only. They don't have an
Yep.
app that you can use on your computer yet, but this is something that they're working on to allow people to purchase in the future so that you can get a usable app on your own computer or device. So, yeah, you can go through and check out Readsy Studio and see all of the things that you can do from planning to brainstorming to fleshing out the actual drafts. It's a really cool option out there for writers. Okay, here's a fun one. This is Color Hexia. For those of you in marketing, you know that color is important to your brand, just like anything else. And one of the things that can kind of catch authors and writers off kilter is when you're trying to transition your colors from digital to print. You know that what you use in digital isn't always going to translate exactly to the right shade in print. So
Yep.
it's important to know your hex code for your brand colors. And so here you can find just exactly that. You can explain, sorry, excuse me, tongue tied here. Play around with colors if you don't actually have a brand color yet. Um, but if you do, all you have to do is enter that hex code and it will show you exactly what you need. So here I've taken the hex code for our Writer's Chat brand. And so you can see how the color shade turns out. And it will give you the codes you need for print versions and any other kind. And then it will show you complementary color schemes that you can use also for that predominant color. So it's a real handy little place to go and play around with if you're looking for something to use in your marketing to add a little something to your social media posts, to your website, or whatever you want to use your branding colors for. It's a real handy resource. Okay, now we're going to come down into some more tools. Here's another fun one for you authors out there. You can create maps on felt. Perhaps you want one on your website or in your book matter. You can go to this site and actually create maps.
I'm going
And
to
I
have to go play on this one.
have you can actually also upload files to it and augment those, I believe. So this is a
Oh,
real
look
cool
at all the
thing.
fun things you can do.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Oh, rabbit trail.
yep. I know. I could get lost in this too. I'm with my ADD. I'm like, ooh.
Wow.
But so many cool options with this one. And I did put other map creating sources on here for so you can compare them. There's different kinds, maybe for something that's a little more uh maybe not literal map, but something a little more fantasy geared. There are other sources on this handout that I've given that'll you can check out as well. But we thought felt was a really good option. And as you can see, you can get started for free, kind of demo it and play around with it. And if you like it, I believe that the app is very affordable. And everything that you put in is yours. They don't have any copyrights to it. So this is a really good one to check out if you want to create maps for any of your written materials. Along the lines of other free resources that help you with your marketing and other things, this is GIMP, and it is an app that you can download for free to edit photos. So if you are in a place where you can't afford something like Photoshop or Affinity and designers and things like that for augmenting photos, you can use GIMP, and the app can be downloaded right onto your device. And it's, as far as I've been able to tell, very high quality. They have a few little add-ins that you can use to help make it a little more user-friendly. Um,
You scrolled by Inkscape. That is another one as well. If
yeah.
you see that little blot there, that's a really great one as well, especially people that want to try and convert some images to, say, SVGs so that they can make scalable vector graphics. These programs have been around for quite a while. They work pretty well. Sometimes they might have some issues here and there crashing. They used to on my older computers, but they've really come a long way. And the things that they put in there are pretty good for people that really like Photoshop and things, but they can't really afford it. These
Hmm.
are decent quality programs where you can get a lot of those special uses that are more advanced than, say, Canva to be able to create and manipulate images.
Hmm. And here in the release notes, you can kind of get a back end view of what it's going to look like when it's on your computer and see all the options you can have. It's very similar to a lot of photo editing programs. So you kind of just get a view of all the things that you can do with this. So this is a fun option for authors who are looking for a free alternative to photo editing. All right. And on the lines of photo editing, here is remove my background image. And again, this is another free option. It does not um, hold any copyrights or keep any of your information. Whatever you upload onto this, it will delete. So you don't have to worry about private photo things going out there. We've looked into all this. So you can take a photo, put it into their upload image, and it will remove the background automatically for you. And then you can copy that removed image and use it for your marketing. So it's pretty straightforward. It's a neat little program. And see some of the things that they've done with different photos just by giving you a transparent PNG background image. Okay, moving on to social media and connections. I'm not going to go to a lot of them because a lot of what I have on the resource list people are familiar with, but I wanted to do a little plug-in for Author Social. And you have to go to Author Media, which is run by Thomas Umstattd Jr., to set up an account. But this is a social media site, particularly for writers and authors, and you're going to find so many good resources and connections here. I can't praise it enough. If you're looking for an alternative to connect to other authors that's not Facebook or some other social media platform, and it's geared fully towards writers, this is the place to go. And so you can see that once you are in and you're part of the community, there are things like job boards that you can go to, collaboration, celebrations, questions that you can pose in different topics, from fiction to nonfiction to, things like here, Substack. You can talk about all sorts of topics or find out things that people have already done beforehand. And from craft to publishing to marketing, this is the place to go. So I really like Author Media. It's a great social media platform and resource for writers, and I highly recommend it that you go and check it out. And it's completely free. You just sign up and create your own account there. Okay, for those who are into self-publishing, you have to buy an ISBN. It's just one of those things, and Boker is the source to go to get your ISBNs barcodes, things like that that you need for your books. It's a really good resource. I don't think I have to go too much into detail here, but if anybody wants to add to, feel free. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're already at the stage where you're self-publishing, then yeah, this is a place to go. And a lot of people recommend even getting in bulk if you know that that's something you're going to do in the future. It makes it a little more affordable because ISBNs are pretty pricey. But
They are very, very pricey. So if you can
mhm,
get 100 and it really takes down the cost, it might take you a long time to use them. A lot of people starting out get at least 10 because even that is more affordable than just buying one.
yeah.
And then you've got them in your back pocket. The other thing I like about this one too is the barcode. You can see that on there, and they will. I don't remember if it does it itself or it sends you to some place that does it because you can get there is a company that does barcodes for free. So if this one charges, yeah, you
Hmm.
do not have to do
Yeah,
you
it
don't
does
have to pay
charge.
for it. There,
Great to know.
sorry, I don't remember the name of it. What'd you say, Brandy?
Oh, I said that's great to know.
Yeah, there is a
'Cause
place that
you might
will
think that you just
create
would
them.
have to go through one
Mm-mm.
place, and so it's good to know
No,
there's the
no.
alternate for that.
You can go somewhere
Yeah.
else, and I'm sorry, I don't remember where, but you go to this other place and you can get the barcode for free and download it. I'll see if I can find it while Melissa's talking about, put it in the chat.
Yeah, and I can't remember if I came across any resources that I added specifically generated towards barcodes. I know I've put in things for like QR codes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, if you have that,
I'll see if I
add
can
it
find
today
it.
and I'll let people know. Okay, another fun resource, again, talking about ebook formatting. This is a free alternative for creating ebooks. It's called Calibre. This is an app you can download onto your device. It's probably not going to be as user-friendly as the ones that you purchase, like, Atticus or Vellum. But if you're in a place where you really can't afford a program right now, but you want to play around with trying to create your own ebooks, Calibre is an option for you. And I know some people have used it and really like it. I have not myself, so I can't attest to all of the aspects to it. But for those who have used it, it comes highly recommended. Another fun marketing option for you out there, font pair. We all know that fonts are important when it comes to either your books or your articles, your blog, your website. And so this is a fun one with free options for fonts and font
No.
pairing suggestions. So you can find a font, click on it, and then it will give you options for good pairings that you can use.
Are you
Um,
aware if these fonts are available for commercial use, what the licenses are? Is there like a variation of the licenses or?
I believe that they have options for that. I haven't totally explored all of those aspects, but from what I have looked at, it looks like it has free options. You might have to pay for some depending on your intent, but it looks
All
like
right.
they all have a lot of like Google fonts and things like that that are free.
Yep.
For,
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about licensing and fonts, but it is a thing. And so if you're
mhm,
using fonts in your project, make sure that you have permission to use it for commercial use.
mhm, absolutely. So you can kind of see some of the options you have at this place. It's pretty neat.
I love fonts. I can get lost in fonts for a long time.
Yep, and the people who created this site are openly, um, uh, they share their obsession about fonts. So you're in the right place if you love fonts. Okay, another cool option for social media and tools and marketing is Google Trends. I don't know how many of you are aware of the option of using Google Trends to find out what is trending and what you can use to connect with people in your marketing, but you can type things into search if you have something specific to your writing that you want to see, maybe if there's an audience for that and where that audience can be found. It's pretty self-explanatory with anything with Google. Just type in and search. Um, Again, they of course focus on what's trending now, but you can look for just about any kind of topic. And apparently, you can also subscribe to a newsletter that sends you trending topics. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but you can do whatever you want to do. I think it's a good place to go just for searching and checking things out. My top recommendation again for marketing is Author Media Novel Marketing Podcast. And this, you can go in, you can search just about any topic having to do with marketing your novels. And he's probably got a podcast or blog post on it, and along with resource lists, to find specific things. I mean, I, I'm a big nerd when it comes to this. I will always recommend Author Media and Novel Marketing Podcast for those who are looking for ways to market their books. Uh, yeah, I'm having a brain fart again. Sorry. I decided there was something else I was going to comment about this. Um, how many of you have actually used Novel Marketing too? Am I the only one? I think Johnny, you've
Yeah,
been
I use it.
too,
Yeah.
haven't you?
He's so excellent. And it's he he changes his mind about things over time too as things change, and so he
Hmm.
gives you up-to-date information about like platform and marketing and things like that, like what used to work isn't working now, and he has done the homework to know it's not just like what he thinks he sees. He's actually looks at numbers and looks at behind the dashboard kind of to know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. You can also find courses that he sells that
Hmm.
go into a little more depth than what you'll find on the podcast or the blog. But yeah, it's an extensive search, and you can go and you can find just about any topic, whether it's, Kickstarters or social media versus
No.
newsletters or things like that. There's so many good resources here. So I highly recommend Author Media and Novel Marketing Podcast for your marketing needs. Okay, moving on to research. Here is one of my favorite sources. This is called Internet
Hi.
Archive. And if you're looking for free sources to add to research, whether it's textbooks, newspaper, journal, images, audio, all sorts of great things that you can find in the Internet Archive in its Wayback Machine. You just type it in, and it'll bring up options for you. As you can see, it's very extensive and topics that you can search for. I've found a lot of good old references, even in just digital books, ebooks that you can download from here or look at. It's a really neat resource. And so if you're looking for a place to start with your research, this is a good place to bounce off of. And right on the heels of that, I would also recommend JustStore. JustStore focuses primarily on journals, books, images, and things like that, but it connects to your local libraries in a lot of instances too. So you can create an account through them and have limited access to certain amount of journals or books that you can look at. But if your local library is connected to JustStore, then you can have virtually unlimited access, and it's a handy resource for research. Another fun one for research is Wolfram Alpha. This one covers a huge amount of topics from sciences to, mathematics to, you
It's
name
another
it.
bunch of
History,
rabbit
social.
holes.
Oh, yeah. So many rabbit holes. You can enter computations in this thing. I mean, it is
Wow.
extensive. There is so much that you can do on Wolfram Alpha. I have not explored all of it. You enter in a topic or whatever you want to search, and yeah, you'll get lost. This is a great resource. Um, I shudder to even think about where I could go with this, and I'll get us too off kilter if I even start clicking on things. So just trust
All
me,
the
you want to
story
go here and
ideas I
play
could come
around
up
with
with
it.
from this place.
So many options. It's a really good one. Then there's World History Encyclopedia. Some of you have probably heard of them. They're pretty big. I mean, you can even find their YouTube channel, but this is a great source for blog posts on that just get to kind of wet your feet on different topics. If you write, like for me, being a history buff and historical fiction writer, I geek out about things like this. So yeah, you can type in topics and search them specifically. They've got blog posts, they've got YouTube videos. So much that you can check out, maps that you can look at. different historical maps. Like they say here, look up definitions, articles, illustrations, videos, 3D images, translations. I mean, there's so much that you can find in World History Encyclopedia. It's a great resource. And then lastly, again, I want to give a plug in for Jane Friedman because she was one of the ones that I've gone to time and again curate the resources, and she's a really good source for authors and writers. I highly recommend joining subscribing to her newsletter, Electric Speed, and you can get some of those suggestions right in your inbox. So lots of good things to be found here. She has a lot of educational information, and she also does online workshops that you can use to further your own craft.
And if you happen to be on Discord, she has a Discord channel.
Yes. So that's just a bit of what you can find in this handout. If there, I guess we'll open it up for questions, or if there's a certain something that people would like to explore. I I think that we've covered a lot of the
Yeah.
main highlights.
Well, I want to get back to barcodes just a minute, or not barcodes, ISBNs, because someone said about using KDP off, giving you one for free, and they will. But when you
Mhm.
do that, it puts in as publisher, it'll say independently published. So you can't use your own name. So like mine is Misty Willow Books. If I don't buy my own ISBN, I can't have that show up as the publisher. It would say independently published. I do want to say though, for people not in the US, I know if you're in Canada, you can get ISBNs for free. I don't know why, but they are free in Canada. So in our Mosaic collection, we have like 4 Canadian authors. They don't have to worry about buying ISBNs. Only the American authors do. So
Bonus.
yeah, yeah. So there we go on that. Yeah, just wanted to add that.
Yeah. Awesome. It seems like I'd heard that before too, and I totally spaced that. But yeah, I guess if people
Yeah, and
want to
then Johnny
come,
put in the chat, what, Kindlepreneur for
yeah,
the
Kindlepreneur,
ISBN barcode
Yes.
that
generator?
that is one of the ones
That's
that's
the
on the
free
resource list.
tool.
I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah, they've
recommend
got a
Kindlepreneur.
lot of things on that. When I went there to get my last barcode, there was all this free stuff, for signing up for the newsletter. Boy, I was downloading all kinds of things to help you. I mean, it's for indie publishing, so it was so helpful.
Yeah. Well, and even for traditional publishing, he's got a lot of good resources too. Like I use his publisher Rocket, and yeah, so many good
Oh
options. He
yeah, I forgot he
has
has that. Yeah.
you can find all those through Kindlepreneur, which again I said is one of the resources on the list.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, you can get lost in rabbit trails. He's got a lot of blogs posts that have like detailed lists of how to improve craft marketing for books, things like that, how to search for keywords. I mean, lots of good things there. Again, you could get lost. I'll apologize ahead of time. So many of these resources will do that exact same thing for you. There's just so many good options out there. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the list and just go to town with it and add to it and build your own resources.
I've already
Um,
added a few things onto this resource you put in Writers Chat members Facebook group. I want to put a plug in also for WonderDraft as a map making software. That's one that you can download and use offline, and it is inexpensive. And I believe it works for both Windows and Mac. And then you have that on your resource list. And then also for people that really like like to world build, and if you want to create something for maybe your readers to engage with, check out World Anvil. It is a place where you can just create your entire world. You can upload maps and pictures. You can create character charts and just really give your readers a place to go to engage in your story world and engage in your readers. And they're a pretty interactive community as well.
I have a little question about the map one, like the any of these programs. So like, okay, so just personally here, I am going to and am writing short stories that feature a county I grew up in. So I have a county map. So, getting it, but I'm changing road names. I'm changing, little bits and pieces. So do I just like find it on their map and then just write in my own changes, or how does that work?
That is a good question. And my
Yeah.
answer is I don't know.
Yeah, I would think it would be an
I would say
option.
maybe experiment, figure out what's there.
How you do it? You do or don't think it'd be an option, Melissa?
I think it would be. It seems like it's pretty fully customizable from what I've seen.
So you can
I
take
have,
it and move roads or streets around.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you could. But yeah, definitely play around with it and go
Yeah,
see.
that sounds fun because I really want to do that. And I kind of didn't want to write on the map I have because like my brother gave it to me and it's rolled up. I mean, it came from like a clerk's office or something. It's like, how did I make a copy of this thing and then, you know, then scribble all over it for my little world.
For sure.
Yeah, I haven't done much with map making, but you could fiddle around and try and figure out what's available.
That'd be fun.
Or, just go around and put, a post in the
Well,
writing group. Say, have you done this with
you done
maps and
this?
what do you
Yeah.
recommend? It's probably cut
Yeah.
down in your time.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well,
All
do
right.
you
Do
want
we
to
want
write
to
in?
bring everybody back on
Yeah,
then? And yeah, come back.
yeah, come back on. We'd
Come
love to
back
see
on.
you.
Did
Talk
we
to
miss
us.
any questions in the chat?
Uh,
Oh, Brandy, Kathy wants you to list your map resources in the chat, if you would,
Yep,
please.
I did pop those in there.
Oh,
And
There
some
are
of
on the
I
those
big
that,
resource list
yeah,
that Melissa has, so
I
that you will have the
included them.
clickable links in that Word document.
Yeah, yeah, you can find them in the list.
okay. Oh, I'm not seeing any questions. I thought I saw someone was having trouble finding something in the list. Now I'm not finding.
That was me, and right after I put it in
Oh,
there, I found it, so I took it
good.
off.
Yay. Great. All right. Does anyone else have any other resources they want to add or any questions about the resources we talked about?
Guess not.
Definitely. It's one of those fire hydrant things. There's just so much to see. Like,
Gosh.
oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering
Go,
again, 'cause
go get.
I had to go to the restroom when you were talking about how to get to download the resources.
Oh,
So where,
It's
I'm
it's
sorry I
right in
missed
the
that, but
it's easy to find. It's right in the Writers Chat members group on Facebook. You can go there and it'll be, if you don't see it right in the discussion thread, you can go to the files section. It'll be the top one. So you
okay, great.
can
Thank
download that.
you.
You bet.
But don't get so caught up in playing with the resources that you don't do your writing.
Yes, yes, this is an
Yes.
important thing to
do
remember
your
because
job.
I am
Same
too
Set
thing
good.
with marketing or graphic
a
design or
timer,
any of that other stuff.
I'm
set
good
a
at
timer,
facilitating rabbit
or
holes here, but
if you have to if you have to watch something or you have to do something where you're not going to be on screen and you can double your time, play with some of these tools while you're listening. So I know a lot of us are doodlers, and sometimes playing with these tools is similar to doodling, and we can listen better when our other side of our brain is engaged.
Yeah, that's a really good suggestion.
well, next week, our guest is here actually. I don't know, Kathy, you're wanting to chat a little bit about us, but next week, Kathy Reuter is going to join us to talk about naming characters, I believe, right? Did you want to share a little bit about that, Kathy?
Sure. It's now called the name game. It used to be called Name That Character, but because I delved so deep into it, I ended up adding legal precedents for some things and why you should watch out, because I've had people go, oh, I just have names fall in my lap and I just use them. There's legal precedents why not to do that.
Uh-oh.
And at least even if you use it or want to use it, check up on things first and how you can kind of keep it a little bit organized so that if in case there's any problems later, you at least have a little bit to stand on. But I've also went into uh, my book is coming out, my debut novel is coming out soon, and I have a little Christmas story, and I won't tell you about it right now, but one of the characters in there, her original name, through my son, and he's in his 30s. He's like, you can't name it that. And I'll tell you why later. But it's really interesting that some of these things are we just don't think of. And because I've had to think of them, I'll give you guys all the information that I've come across, even doing some of our branding names and how to keep ourselves safe with that too. So it's now called the name game.
So be sure to join us next week for the excuse me, for the name game, because I think that it'll be something that's very helpful to you, especially for those who write novels, but in all aspects.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued, especially now because I have had names fall in my lap, and I just choose names. I don't really think too much. I mean, I try to choose appropriate names, but I don't think about the legalities of using a name at all. So, all right, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We just are so glad to see all your smiling faces and very excited about whatever is going on at Sophia's house right this minute. Sounds like a good time's going on there. Hope to see y'all next week. And if you have, I am lost. I just got so distracted. Brandy, are you ready to talk about our new YouTube channel, or at least tell people where to find this recording?
Sure, I can do that.
Do that
So,
real
if you
quick.
haven't heard, we have a new YouTube channel, our own YouTube channel, because we were previously on Serious Writers Channel.
Mhm.
Now we have Writers Chat Show. And so you can find all of our replays from this year going forward on Writers Chat Show channel on YouTube. So please check us out. Please subscribe and like our
Yes.
videos, because then you will get all of the notifications of when we post our replays, and you will also help to boost our visibility for other writers to find us and learn about all of these great things that you are already learning about. So thank you.
Yes, I'm glad you said please subscribe because we did lose our subscribers, so which were kind of high. So yes, please, please, please.
Well, our subscribers were Serious Writers subscribers. So,
Yes, yeah.
now that we have our own
They're
platform,
not.
and you will be able to see all of our replays on the Serious
Yes.
Writer playlist, because we have put them right on our Writers Chat Show channel for you to find very easily.
And thanks to Brandy because she did all of that. She moved them all over. So that was wonderful. Yes, yes, we give her a big hand. So anyway, yes, please join us. And if you are watching the replay, we do invite you to be here any Tuesday morning. We're here almost every single Tuesday morning of the year at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. And we just would be thrilled to have you join us. If you're not a member of the Writers Chat Members Facebook group, you want to join that, especially today, to get a copy of Melissa's resources. So invaluable, but we just like to have you there anyway. So other than that, we will say goodbye, except ask everybody to stick around for the after party. Bye, everybody.